Hello everyone, and welcome to the second part of our training session on leave management. Next, we will cover the leave accrual process. This process outlines how employees earn paid time off, such as vacation or sick days, as they work. For instance, if a company provides 1 day of leave each month, after 6 months, the employee would have 6 days off to use later. Essentially, the more they work, the more leave they accumulate. Leave can also be granted at the beginning of the year or all at once. Here's the user case for the leave accrual process. Employees apply for annual leave, which is then approved by the designated authority. HR initiates the calculation of leave balances to update the available balance. This involves deducting the utilized leave from the net entitlement and updating the accrual balance for the remaining period. Once this process is completed, the updated balances will be reflected in the leave reports. This process can be executed manually and can also be scheduled to run daily at the end of the day. Looking at the flow, the HR admin will start the process by selecting the organization for which they will execute it and choosing the leave type. The data will autofill. After clicking OK, the process will update the leave balance, and the process will conclude here. On the execution side, the HR admin logs into the system and navigates to the Calculate Leave Balances option in the Leave Management folder. The user selects the organization and the leave type, then clicks OK. The process will complete, and leave balances will be updated for all employees. Now, let's see this in action. Go to the Leave Management folder. Here, we have the Calculate Leave Balances process. The user can select the leave type. If the user wants to execute the process for all leave types, the system can handle this automatically. Alternatively, the user can select them one by one to initiate the process. For this demonstration, I will select annual leave. After clicking OK, the organization is filtered automatically. The user can run this process for all employees in the HQ organization or for individual employees. I will process the leave balances for all employees now. I'll click the OK button, and the process will be initiated. The system will confirm that the accrual balance process has run successfully for 22 employees. If any employees do not have the accrual component tagged, the system will provide a message indicating which employees are affected. Once the process is executed, the user can view the details in the Employee Leave Balances screen, where information can also be accessed from the reports. So, these are the employees for whom the leave balance has been updated through the process. Another feature we have in the Onfinity system is the carryover process. At the end of the year, employees may have remaining leave balances that need to be carried forward to the next year's entitlement. HR must execute the process to implement these changes. This activity can be scheduled annually or executed manually, either at the end or the beginning of the year. Once the process is completed, the remaining leave balances will be updated in the next year's entitlement. As a user case, when an employee's leave request has been approved, the remaining leave balances for that employee are recorded. At the end of the year, the remaining leave balances are identified. HR executes the process to carry forward the balance, either manually or via a scheduled task. The system then updates the balances, and HR will validate and transfer the records. Once the balances are updated, they will be reflected in the next year's entitlement. Here we have the carryover process flow. The HR admin will initiate this process and select the organization from the drop-down. The date will be autofilled. The user will click OK, and once they do, the carryover balance will be updated. After HR verifies the information, the carryover balance will be transferred to the employee's record, and the process will be completed. In the execution part, the HR admin logs into the system and navigates to the carryover process in the Leave Management folder, then selects the organization. The date will autofill, and the user will select the OK option to complete the process. The user will verify the carryover balances before transferring them to the employee's current year entitlement or current leave year balance. Once verification is complete, the balances will be transferred to the employee's current year leave balance, updating the leave balance for all employees. Now, let's move on to the system and check this process. In the Leave Management folder, we have the carryover process. The organization and date will be displayed automatically. The user needs to select the absence type, such as annual leave. There is also an assignment set option. The HR manager or HR executive can process this for a group of employees or for all employees. If the user wants to execute this process only for a specific group of employees, they will need to select or create a component set and enter those employees. Then, they can select the assignment set from the drop-down and click the OK button. So, I'm not selecting any assignment set, and when I click OK, the system will provide information indicating that the carryover has been processed for 5 employees with this search key. The HR admin will then validate these records by going to the Leave Request window and accessing the carryover balances. This window displays the details of the carried over balances. When we toggle this record, we can see the use key and the year for which this process was executed. Now, let's go to the carryover employee details to check how many employees this process has affected. As we see in the carryover process, it has been executed for 5 employees. We can view the details of those 5 employees in the carryover balance window. Here, we can see the balance available from last year, but the maximum carryover for this year is 5. The balance from last year is this amount, but we can only transfer 5 entitlements to the current year. Once we validate this information, we will transfer it to the employee leave records. The user will click on Transfer, and the status will be marked as transferred. In the carryover details, we can also see that the status is updated to transferred. Now, let's check whether this carryover balance has been added to the leave entitlement. We will verify this for one employee. We'll go to the leave request and click on Check Leave Balance. Here, we can select the employee and the leave type. After clicking OK, we can see that the annual leave carry forward has been tagged to this employee with an entitlement of 5. So now, the full year entitlement for this employee is 30 days, but they have already utilized 1 day. This leaves a remaining entitlement of 29 days for the year. The mobile app allows employees to book leave from any location, whether they are at home or in a remote area without access to the system. Here's a use case. An employee wants to apply for medical leave for 2 days but cannot go to the office to submit the request through the web. Before booking the leave, they need to check their leave balance. After submitting the leave request, it will go for approval. Once the leave request is approved, the status and leave balance will be updated. In the flow, the employee will log into the mobile app from their phone, apply for leave, select the leave type, and provide mandatory comments. They will then save the record and submit it for approval. Upon manager approval, the leave balance will be updated, and the transaction will be completed. On the execution side, the employee will follow these steps, log into the mobile app, check their remaining leave balance, and see how much they have already used. They will click on the Create Leave option, select the leave type from the drop-down, and enter comments. After submitting the leave request, it will go for manager approval. Once the leave request is approved, the status and leave balance will be updated. In the case of unpaid leave, the system will treat this leave as a loss of pay when HR processes payroll for that period. Now, let's run the same scenario from the mobile application. The user will open the Onfinity app. Upon opening the application, this is the home screen where they can see various module details. The employee will log into the app and click on the Leave module. In this module, there is a small dashboard at the top of the screen showing teammates, and below that, the available and availed balances for each leave type. At the bottom of the screen, the user can see the various leave types they have taken in previous years. Now, the user will apply for medical leave. They will click on Apply Leave and select the date. I'm selecting today's date for the medical leave and entering the mandatory comments. After that, the user will click on Create Leave. The system will re-verify whether the details are correct. The user will check the details regarding the date, leave type, and that the selected leave is for a full day. They will then submit the request for approval. Once the leave is submitted, the system will display a message indicating that it is pending approval, and at the bottom of the screen, it will show the status as applied. The manager will approve the request from the web, and we will check the results here. Now, I'm going back to open the leave request again to see if the manager has approved the leave. I will go to the leave screen, and here I can see that my leave details for this period are approved. The leave is approved, and the balance is updated in both the availed and remaining balance sections. Once the leave is approved, the employee can check notifications in the mobile application. They will go to the notification panel and see at the top that the leave has been approved by the manager. The employee can click on this notification. In addition to these features, we have widgets and charts available on the admin screen, including dynamic widgets, static widgets, and charts. The dynamic widgets allow us to create new records from the landing page, check live balances, and generate reports. The static widgets provide various advanced searches to help navigate to specific records. The charts give information about the comparison of paid leaves, unpaid leaves, and the leave status for the previous and current months, as well as a 3-month summary of approved leaves. Now, we have some standard reports. These reports provide details about entitlements, balances, leave taken in the previous year, and who is requesting leave. Let's start with the first report, the Leave Ledger Report. This report provides details for an employee, including leave taken, leave entitlement at the beginning of the year, carryover balances, and remaining balances for each leave type. The second report will detail leave entitlement and leave taken during a specified period. Finally, the Leave Listing Report will provide details such as start date, end date, duration, leave status, and requester details. Now, let's move on to the system and review each report one by one. We'll go to the Leave Request window. Reports can be accessed from the landing page as well as from the menu. In the Leave Management section, there is a folder called Reports. Here, we have 3 reports: Leave Ledger, Leave Listing, and Leave Summary. You can navigate to these from the folder or from the landing page. The user will click on the Leave Ledger report and select the report type as PDF. They will then choose the date range for which they want to see the records. I am generating the report for 3 months. The report can be generated department-wise, by absence type, or for a single employee. The user will click OK. Once the report is generated, we can see the details, including the cutoff date specified as the end date, when the report was printed, and all relevant details such as leave code, leave date period, expiry date, which refers to the end date, leave status, approved or rejected, and any comments provided for leave types. If any carry-forward leave was executed for this employee during this period, the report will show the full year entitlement, how much leave has been taken, and at the end of the record, the net available balance for that particular leave type. Next, we have the Leave Summary Report. The user will select PDF from the drop-down, choose the year, and click OK. When the report is generated, we can see the entitlement and duration for all employees. On the left side, we have the entitlement, and on the right side, we have the duration that has already been availed by the users. Thirdly, we have the Leave Listing Report. Here, we need to select the parameters. If I want to see only annual leave records, I can click the arrow button and select one leave type from the drop-down. Alternatively, I can generate the report for all leave types by specifying the dates. Right now, I will select annual leave and want to see the records from January 1st to March 31st. I'll click OK, and the system will start fetching the details. Here, we have a detailed report for these employees in the selected organization, which includes the organization name, employee number, name, cost center, department, job title, leave code, the period for which the employee applied, the number of days requested, any reasons provided, the date of the leave request, and the status of that leave, whether it is approved, cancelled, or rejected. Lastly, the report will indicate whether unpaid leave is processed in the payroll calculation. In today's training, we covered how to book leave through the ESS portal, manage leave as an admin, handle half-day requests, and understand the accrual and carryover processes. We also demonstrated using the mobile app for convenient leave management and generating reports to track leave usage. This concludes our training session on leave management. Thank you.